Autumn Windbags, RJ Clifford Juan Soto. Let's have some fun today. Live show on a Wednesday.
You're welcome, hoes.
It's the summer of fun. It's the summer of live. I don't know why we went live today, but I'm glad we did. You guys can tag along, chime in anytime. We're here. We're doing it. We're live. Early last week, live this week. Maybe we'll do it from the future next week, right? We'll tape a video Friday, but have it air 2 days earlier on Wednesday. God only knows what we'll do at the Autumn Windbags. Time isn't linear.
Inverted.
On a curve. We were inverted. Bullshit. What movie is that from? Let us know in the comments.
You can't get that one.
That's an easy one. 39 days till Raiders opening day. We're at the 30 mark, boys. It's creeping up on us. Actual, real, tangible preseason football tomorrow. Hall of Fame game. Are you watching, Soto? Are not only watching, are you super jacked for it?
Not jacked for it, but I may watch. But I am busy this week as we are opening our new location for the gym on Saturday.
Fabulous.
And we are busy. After we're done here, I'm going to be skating over to the old location and finishing up some odds and ends.
Mm-hmm. Well, it is worth checking in on the Hall of Fame because Eric Allen getting inducted into the Hall of Fame.
As an Eagle, great. Whatever.
I've been thinking about this for like a week. I can't believe how much brain cells I've been put into this. I think he's more Raider than Eagle. I get it. His like best years were with the Eagles. He was drafted by the Eagles. But two things. One, like he solidified himself into the Hall of Fame. He wouldn't have done it without the Raiders because like longevity is important to the Hall of Fame voters. Like you need to have like, you can't just be great for 3 years and have it count. You need a pretty decent body of work. And he does our media for us. He's like one of our guys. If you're still getting a paycheck from a team, you're more Raider than anyone else. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So with preseason starting tomorrow, off-season workouts fully underway. You hear that? That's pads. That's pads clacking against each other. With everything going on this offseason with the Raiders, Tom Brady taking over in the ownership, new head coach in Pete Carroll, new GM in John Spytek, new quarterback Geno Smith, new play caller Chip Kelly, new running back Ashton Genty, Max Crosby healthy. You'd think like, oh my God, there's so many on the field things to talk about. Nope. The number one story, and it's been national news for almost a week now, Christian Wilkins cut from the Raiders. We could easily spend a 4-hour podcast on just this topic because there's so many moving parts. There's so many layers. There's whispers we've heard. There's so much we don't know. The repercussions for not only just the Raiders on the field, repercussions for the Raiders cap-wise, repercussions league-wide. If the Raiders are able to pull this off and say, nope, we don't have to pay you the extra 35-something million that was in your guaranteed contract. Like, dude, Soto, this is a monster story, and it's more than just losing a good defensive lineman.
Yeah, this is a precedent-setting kind of a situation right now. And it doesn't help that the NFLPA doesn't have a commissioner or a leader right now. This is something that if I was a player, I would be extremely upset because this is a time that your NFLPA needs to be strong and ready to rock, and they're not. Who's the head of it, right? And if I'm a player and I want to make sure that the NFLPA has enough resources and they have all the because this is a big deal. If Christian Wilkins if the Raiders are allowed to void Christian Wilkins' contract, this is huge because then in further negotiations, there's going to be a lot of different language in these contracts, and there's going to be a lot of stalemates going forward. There's going to be a lot of things that are going to change in wording in contracts, and I don't know, man. It's a tough situation, and forget the Christian Wilkins thing itself. What it means to contracts in the future is a lot more of an impact to the NFL players than just one guy who's acting like a weirdo.
A precedent could be set, I think,
for sure.
Right? A precedent could potentially, or a precedent will be set either way. Either the NFLPA wins the appeal, and now teams can't pull this kind of fast one, or they don't win the appeal and teams can. So either way, some sort of precedent.
Is it a fast one?
So it was not, I would say, shady, but I would say a fast one.
I don't know, man. I'm gonna push back on that type of verbiage. You can use it from now on. I'm just saying right now, I don't think it was a fast one. Because look,
I don't think it was underhanded. I don't think it was unfair.
Even a fast one is not okay with me because of this. Is it his body? Yes. Does he have to have a second
my
surgery?
body, my choice.
No, he doesn't have to have a surgery, but like anything, if you're going to do it your way, it better work. If you're doing it your way and it doesn't work, then you have to do it my way because I'm paying you. Oh, you still don't want to do it? Okay, then I'm not going to pay you anymore. That's the bottom line that got his contract voided. Yeah, you don't have to. You can do your rehab and everything, but when it comes time for you to be on the field, you better be ready to go. Oh, you're not ready to go? Okay, let's do surgery. I don't want to do it. I still don't want to do it. Okay, well, it better work. It doesn't work. You still don't want to do it. Okay, now I'm going to void your contract. That's completely and above bar for me.
It's not a fast one for any of the things you said. It's a fast one for two reasons. One, it's never really been done before. And two, this was filed in June. So when this went public, that's when Wilkins's team filed their appeal. And then it was literally the last day they were allowed to. There's like a 45-day window or something
50.
when you're allowed to appeal, whatever the number is. And it was kept under wraps until like they were at the 1 inch line. Right. So again, not shady. I think the Raiders were fully within their rights to pull something like this. The guy's got to go, and we'll get into the other underlying whispers about it that could make this thing blow up more. Because I have a general theory, and we'll get to it. But I think I think Wilkins may be so embarrassed by the real story that he doesn't want this to go to litigation, because then there's witnesses and people are on the stand and you're under oath. And so the Raiders are like, this guy's not going to want this story to get out there. So we're going to make this official. We're going to make it legal. So again, all legal, all above board, but a fast one, little slippery, which you want out of
in your opinion.
So rewind. If you haven't heard the entire story, Jones fracturing his foot, 5th game of the season, so he had surgery the next day. So it seemed like he was ready to go, right? Like so often guys will get injured and, all right, let me get a couple of days off. Let me get my head straight, or let me get my stuff in order. It was like the next morning. He's like, all right, let's get this. So we're like, okay, great. Like he wants to attack this surgery, rehab, get going as soon as possible. Didn't go well. Raiders demanded he get a second surgery because it's supposed to be like just a few months for this thing to be done, and it didn't work. He refused to get another surgery. And so they're like, the doctors are like, dude, like if it's not healed now with what you're doing, it may never, right? Like you'd have to get the second surgery. And he said, no. That's the official line from the Raiders. That's like the official thing from them. Then we heard the rumors start popping. We heard on the Pat McAfee show that a player was kissed on top of the head by Christian Wilkins. That player went to HR and said, this is an issue. So the official line from the Raiders is injury. He didn't follow through. That's it. End of story. And then there's other layers to this that haven't really, quote unquote, been reported other than that one line.
Yeah, it's things are going to come out, because once either in the kind of mediation or whatever, the info is going to come out. And if it doesn't, if the Raiders and Butler ever kind of just come to an agreement, like a buyout or something like that, then people are going to talk after the fact. But basically, what I've been saying has happened because we were asking ourselves these questions all the time. What's going on with why is he back in the boot and he's off the boot again and he's back on the boot? Well, if you take a look at the timeline, the recovery to be back ready to go in full is 12 to 16 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks after surgery, and then 6 to 8 weeks of rehab. So you put it together, 12 to 16 weeks, about 2 to 4 months. All right. So you get hurt. He gets hurt in October. He has surgery the very next day. December, let's just say it's 8 weeks. So December, rehab starts. February, he was back in the boot in February. So that says, okay, you're out of rehab and you're still not good to go. Well, you need to have another surgery. That's what Dr. Deepak Chona said himself, and he's a world-renowned orthopedic surgeon. He said if it doesn't work, right away, and you can go in there and do the surgery again. Very low, re-injury rate. Normally when you go in there, you know what the problem is and you can fix it. They don't want to do it. So you can put it back in the boot. Okay, you don't want to do the surgery? Fine. Get back on the boot, and then we'll do the whole cycle all over again. Okay. Then he went back in the boot in before OTA, so it was like late May, early June. That's when they voided his contract. He didn't want to do the surgery again, and they're like, dude, what's going on now? This has been, 6-7 months now since surgery, and you still don't want to do it? What's going on? Okay. Back on the boot. Remember, he went back on the boot in like early May before OTAs. He was back on the
boot.
Okay. Then he wasn't ready for training camp. Was seen walking around on the boot. Then he was caught dancing, not in the boot. And the day, from what we heard, the day he was released, they asked him a last time, do you want to get the surgery to get this fixed? And Adam Schefter even said himself, there were surgeries scheduled that he didn't show up to. So something weird is going on in that man's head. I don't know what it is. Maybe the money made him crazy. Who knows? But ultimately, he didn't want to do what was, I don't know, what any normal person, any reasonable person would think is doing what you need to do to get back on the field. And again, he doesn't have to have the surgery. It's his right to not have the surgery. But if you're going to do it your way, it better work. You're not just going to sit back and collect a paycheck. That's what he wanted to do, it seems like.
So the doctor, I think it was an orthopedist that was on to Sean Reed and Ted Wynn's podcast, was like, this was like 3 weeks ago. He's like, I think he'll be fine because if he needed another surgery,
Pete Carroll, that was the guy.
Yeah. He's like, if he needed another surgery, he would have had it by now. You know what I'm saying? So he's like, oh yeah, like he was so dead set that of course he'd get a surgery if he needed it. Like it didn't even cross his mind.
That's not even a big deal.
It didn't even cross his mind, right? So he was like so dead set, like, no, he'll be ready for training camp, no problem. Because if he needed another surgery, he would have had it. Not even like, well, there's a 50-50, maybe got a second opinion, and he said no surgery. It's like, no, if he needed it, it'd be done. So he's ready to go. That's how outlandish him not getting a surgery is orthopedists, professionals are like, oh yeah, he's got to be fine. There's no universe where he didn't have a surgery yet if he needed it. Apparently Christian Wilkins' brain, not of this universe, right? So that's the on paper weird part. And then there's the other weird part. So reports are saying it was Adam Butler that got kissed on the head. Remember, it was so funny with the report on the McAfee show where they heard forehead, but he actually said top of head, and he kept trying to say top of head as if it's like drastically different. It's like,
I guess Schefter and Butler have like the same agents, and or they're represented by the same people. So people are having this conspiracy theory that he's trying to like downplay it. Like, oh, he playfully kissed him on the head. Man, I don't want anyone playfully kissing me, any dude playfully kissing me anywhere.
Where is it appropriate for a dude to kiss another dude? Like, where is it like, all right, that's fine, we're bros. It's like, that's kind of weird.
No.
Where is it like straight up knocking you out if you do that?
No, it's not okay.
I've kissed you on the head before. I've kissed you on the head before. You didn't knock me out.
It was at my wedding.
Yeah.
And it was we were posing for a picture.
Well, that's my point. It's like, okay, what, like, when is it allowed to kiss another man and where? Top of the head at a wedding. Fair.
I'll allow it.
Right. Hammered, happy day.
After BJ Penn knocks out Matt Hughes.
Like it was a great day for everybody, right? Everyone's having a good time. How much booze did we drink at your wedding?
God, it was so bad. So there was about maybe 150 people there, maybe 100 drinkers, because there was kids and like, a lot of my family doesn't drink. So we went through about 15 cases of wine, 6 cases of tequila.
Ooh.
I don't know how many freaking bottles of beer. We had so much beer there, and then the champagne was all gone too. I think we had like one mixed match box of maybe 5 or 6 bottles of wine. Everything else was gone.
And 9 months later,
yeah, our buddy Frankie had a kid.
He got his kid.
I always tell Macy that I was like, "Hey, girl, you're welcome."
Mission accomplished. Yeah, man, a kiss on the top of the head from your buddy, like a wedding, kids born or something. Like, okay.
But here's the thing: we
Kinda
all know a
anywhere
guy like
else,
Christian Wilkins. We
I'm
all know a
throwing
guy
him.
like him. Okay, he seems like a guy that's like a habitual line stepper, right? And if this is something that's going to be a something that's going to be like gone to like HR or anything like that, he had to have known that Adam Butler doesn't play like that. And Christian Wilkins, to me, just seems, because we know guys like this, that they'll do stuff that's over the line just to do it, even though they know the other person's going to be like weirded out by it. I mean, if you saw his press conference, Adam Butler's press conference, he straight up told Q, he's like, "I don't understand your question. I'm not going to answer it," and moved on. Like, it was a little uncomfortable. He's a very serious dude, and I don't know, man. So there's some people that you could play with like that, and some people that you can't.
Well, that's why I think. I mean, there's a lot of reasons that there's way more to this story because everyone's talking about whispers. We'll get to the media here in a second, but that's why I think, like, okay, he's not going to HR for that. Like, there had to be more that's just not officially out yet, right? It's just like HR, make it a huge deal. Like, football players are. You keep it in the locker room. You figure it out together. Like, you don't let the outside in. That's why I think this is much bigger than it really was. So, Adam, one more thing on Adam Butler. Here's what he said. I think it was yesterday at the presser. We've pretty much just kind of moved on from the situation. I really don't want to comment further on it, but I will say whatever you're going through as a person, athlete, non-athlete, whoever, whatever your struggle is, if you got something going on in life, talk to somebody. Get some therapy, whatever your deal is, it's your deal. Somebody out there in this world full of billions of people is willing to listen. They're willing to listen, hear you out, get you work through whatever you need to work through. Don't make any hasty decisions. Get help. That sounds like damage control to me. That sounds like, oh, someone's got mental health issues. Someone needs help, and not this motherfucker crossed the line,
I'm sure it was a little bit of both, honestly, because you're looking at a guy that let's just kind of follow the rabbit trail, okay? If this was Adam Butler and he did go to HR, you had to have known, knowing him for an entire season last season, that, oh, sorry, buddy, I kicked my cat, that he wasn't the guy to play with, okay? So from Adam Butler's perspective, people know that you're not the guy to play with, and you continue to do it. Like, what else? I'm going to think that guy's crazy too. Like, something wrong with the dude. There's something wrong with the guy. If you know that this is not the guy to do that with, and you still do it, there's got to be something wrong with you.
Xavier Foster, thank you for the super chat. It's not the Hedgehog once said. That's no bueno. No bueno.
No good.
I wonder if Adam Butler is just like, hey. I wonder if Adam Butler's like, hey, now I'm the top dog at defensive tackle. It was just like a Game of Thrones sabotage.
Sorry, dude. I thought I was muting mine.
We're good. So here's
the wonders of live shows. I'm muting RJ on accident. I thought I was muting myself.
And we heard you talking to your cat. Now we know what you're like behind closed doors with your cat. So here's my giant beef with the NFL media right now and the beat writers. This has been brewing for months. Not one report. Not one single, hey, we're hearing something's happening with Christian Wilkins, big story coming down the road. Everything we've heard from every beat writer, from every national writer, from everybody oh yeah, like we're not really sure, but Wilkins is doing his best. I remember Vinny and Adam on their podcast were like, yeah, like, he's from all reports, he's just working his hardest to rehab. And when Pete Carroll, like very uncharacteristically months ago said like, yeah, it's going to be an uphill battle and didn't put a positive spin on it. They're like, well, sometimes coaches do that to get players going, right? To be like, this guy's not rehabbing enough. So coaches will kind of go out to the public and try to get them going. They're like, well, this wasn't that at all. Like, that's not at all what this was. Where the fuck were the hints about this, guys? Where were the where nothing? No reports? No, nada? Not hints? Not nothing. Zero. Zilch.
I'm not trying to throw shade, but Vic Tafur would have broke it.
Right? This would have happened at the Niners.
We lose Vic Tafur, and the whole freaking structure falls.
All of a sudden, it's a gay orgy in the Raiders locker room, and everyone's just like, oh, no one knew about it, right? What the fuck? My other beef, after this came out, after the whispers finally did, because now it's public, now he's actually cut, there's legalese being filed, lawyers getting called, HR department, like once all the official paperwork's out there and there's no turning back, I've seen so much of my least favorite thing in all of media. I know something y'all don't know, but I'm not going to tell you. I've seen that from like 7 people. Florio, beat writers,
Florio's
content
such
creators.
A freaking bum.
Just so much like,
that
oh man,
such a freaking turd.
When this gets out, it's going to be big. Well, then either fucking tell us what it is or shut up. Because now you just look like you're censored. Now you just look like, well, a higher up told me not to tell the truth, so I'm not going to. That's what you look like. Whenever you do I know something y'all don't know, you look like a shill. Right? So don't ever do that. You're not impressing anybody. This was such a pet peeve of mine.
But I saw in black dudes don't go to HR. It had to have been a white player that cried foul. I mean, well, here's the thing, though. Watch.
You got a pretty white name, Adam Butler. I thought I had the whitest name in the world.
Raider. Hold on. What about this? What if Adam Butler vented to somebody who was white and he convinced Adam Butler to go to HR?
I think because Adam Butler has the whitest name in the world. He's just like, I'm going to go to HR.
Yes, he does.
So we've all kind of a guy I work with at UFC, diehard Dolphins fan, friend of mine. And I was like, hey man, this news shocked you? He's like, I'm completely shocked by this news. Because we've all seen the clips, right? Here, I got some of them.
Freaking dick squishing.
The kiss, right? See? So we know he's a kisser, right?
On the neck too. Oh,
and then this one, the boop. See that?
Bro,
oil check,
man.
Oil check.
You got in 2 knuckles deep in there, dude.
He didn't have
this
have
one's
the
fine. He's dancing. Whatever. He can dance. Ain't no big deal. That's actually really athletic.
That one's fine. But
this one. Straight up dick and balls, dude. Freaking Josh Allen got up so fast.
Dude, he's just like, what the fuck?
He's like, yo.
So this one, he's not even in the pile and doing it secretly. He's just like, I know I'm in 4K right now. After? Let me get knuckle deep. He knows he's in 4K. Mind?
I think he may have smelled his hand afterwards.
Smells like money. So my buddy, my buddy's Dolphins fan, is like, I'm blown away by this. I knew Josh Allen hated him, but it just kind of turned it into he's doing whatever it takes to get under the skin of the opponents, right? That's how he thought Christian Wilkins was. It's just, yeah, man, in the pile, I'll twist ankles, I'll punch nut sacks, I'll oil check guys, whatever to get them out of their game. Apparently, it was just good old fashioned fun for him. It's just kind of what he's into.
It's just a weird situation, man. I mean, I guess, look, our buddy Brian was telling us he's a Bills fan, and he's like, dude, that guy's a weirdo. That guy's a freaking dick grabber and all this stuff, and he's this and that. And yeah, man.
So Michelle Rentz told him an anonymous source told him that whatever Wilkins was allegedly involved in is an impossible thing to ever go public with. That's why I think the Raiders made this move because, before all this weird stuff came out, you're like, all right, he's got like $80 million in dead cap. Like he's not going anywhere. Like worst case, you know what I mean? Maybe he misses another season. There's nothing the Raiders can do. Nothing they can do. Guaranteed money, monster contract, right? But now, like I said earlier, if there's something so under wraps and so embarrassing that they don't want to put anyone on the stand, they don't want to go through discovery phases, they don't want to start auditing cell phone records and emails and getting players under oath, I think that's why they think they can pull this off. And like you mentioned, the NFLPA is a dumpster fire right now.
Oh,
if we're gonna try to push them into the corner, now's the time to do it. They got their own problems.
They got their leader, a straight-laced looking dude, freaking Mr. Sweater Vest and bow tie. Just being in a strip club for 7 hours is diabolical. That's crazy to be in a strip club that long.
To like you have to be on like the best coke. You know what I mean? To be able to just have strip club energy.
Dude, for 7 hours, that's just crazy business. Jam Master's on one today. He's calling him C. Diddy. I heard Christian Wilkins, because he's milking the contract. C. Diddy, that's good. These guys are getting good, man. Keep them coming.
You want to be really, really depressed?
Not necessarily.
Well, we're Raiders fans, so we're used to it. He was paid $49.7 million.
Oh, yeah, for 5 games.
For 5 games, right? $49.7 million. His like $20 million signing bonus. And as much as we want to just put this all into Lesko, hey, you built this contract. Spytech early in the spring redid his contract and gave him a $20 million signing bonus spread out. So even 2 regimes tied Christian Wilkins to this team. 2 regimes tied him deeper, right? So $49.7 million. That's assuming the Raiders saved that $35 million, right? That's assuming. So it's $49.7 million.
It's already been paid.
It's his. There's nothing the Raiders can do. That's $9.94 million a game, basically $10 million a game. $2.9 million a tackle that we paid for. $24.85 million a sack is what the Raiders got for Christian Wilkinson's services on that basically $50 million. And that's if they succeed and not pay him the extra 35 or whatever.
Yeah, that's a rough one, man.
It's brutal.
But yeah, according to freaking dumbass Florio, the Raiders stiffed Christian Wilkins. They stiffed him. Get out of here, dude. What a bum. What a
$50
bum.
million. Yeah.
What
$25 million a sack.
It's such a hack, dude. He is
Wilkins,
such a bum.
Wilkins grabbed more sacks than tackle sacks that he had over the course of his time with the Raiders.
He got 14.5 sacks, but not on the field last year.
So, all right, what's this mean? So we talked about what it means big picture, the entire story. The most important thing for you, I, and Raider Nation, what does this mean for the team of the Raiders moving forward? 2 things. The only kind of silver lining we can get out of this, so there's another $35 million in cap space that the Raiders have. So we went from 6th most cap space to 4th. So Raiders are stacking chips, which at least scraped apart something there. 2, and I said this, I think 2 months ago. I didn't expect this to happen, but I was like, Spytech, PG, Pete Carroll, they all need to prepare as if Wilkins isn't playing it down. We're hoping for the best. I didn't see this coming, but we're all hoping for the best. But you are irresponsible in your position with the Raiders if with the information that even you and I had, if you're not preparing for Christian Wilkins to not be on the field. So where do the Raiders go from here? Soto, personnel-wise, scheme-wise, roll the dice with who you got, pick up a free agent, blitz more, throw the rookies in earlier. What's the move?
No, you just roll with who you have. You just have to roll with who you have. I think that there was a little bit of foresight in what was happening. That's why they drafted 2 interior defensive linemen in the draft, where they did. They're guys that are very similar in play style to Christian Wilkins. I think Adam Butler is emerging interior as a guy that can lead an interior of a defense. Laki Fotu, there's that guy we got from the Cardinals. That guy's a beast. You hear a lot of good things about Jonah Lualu, or Laulu, excuse me. So there's guys that we can get in there, and the majority of his snaps by Tyree Wilson have been inside, so they're going to roll with who they have. I think.
So when I really obviously look, we're losing our at worst 3rd best player on defense, maybe 2nd best player on defense, right? There's no good side to that. But when I think of our pass rush, I don't think it's that big of a loss pass rush wise. Adam Butler's pretty good pass rusher, like you mentioned. Tyree Wilson moving into defensive tackle, the NASCAR pad, Malcolm Kuntz and Max Crosby on the ends. I think our pass rush is not a giant kick in the nuts. Run stuffing, though, a little different, right? Like Wilkins was the best run stuffer by far on the team. Tyree Wilson on the inside, he's too small to be a defensive tackle for pass rush. Adam Butler, even his specialty is a little bit more penetration than run stuffing. So it's pass rush, I think, is going to be okay. I don't think it's that big of a hit, but run stopping is going to be an issue. So I don't know if you have 3 linebackers or what, but.
Speaking of linebackers, if we're going to talk about that for a second, this linebacking core is actually turning out to be pretty damn good. If you take a look at it, was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday's press conference. Pete Carroll was talking about how Devin White is like the Devin White of old. He's back. You have Pratt, who never really left. He was a contract thing, money thing. So he's good. You have A-Rob, who's just steady in the man. And then you have Jamal Adams, who's basically, they turned him into a linebacker. He gained a little bit of weight, not weight, but like mass, to get to be a linebacker. And if we get close to like the peak of these guys' careers, I mean, that was looking pretty good.
I can see what Spytek is doing, right? He's rolling the dice on 4 guys with the hopes you only really need 2 of them to pan out because they're all super cheap deals, all 1 year deals. Is there 2 year? It's really short deals,
I believe.
Yeah, so it's like very very short, mostly 1 year deals, basically all like veteran minimums, more or less. So you're rolling the dice on 4 guys, hoping 2 pan out.
I think those 4 guys make like what $10 million or something like that.
Yeah,
they don't make a lot.
They make 1 tackle by Christian Wilkins.
So bad, dude.
You can either get 4 linebackers or Christian Wilkins gets 1 tackle for 2 yards.
Like three tackles is $10 million. But man, if the reports are, we'll find out during the game. We're gonna find out next week. We'll find out soon enough.
Yeah.
If they're back, okay, then we have. I mean, linebacker could have gone from a group that has a question mark on it to a group that the only question mark is which one of the 4 or which 2 or 3 of the 4 are going to be on the field because they're all good. I think this is bad news for Jalen Smith. This is bad news for Amari Gaynor. It's a bad news for Tommy Eichenberg. This is bad news for Cody Lindenberg. If those 4 guys show that they are who we think they are or who they have been in the past, those guys are going to eat up all the snaps.
Yeah, if it's high ceiling, low floor guys, right? And we just need 2 out of the 4 to 4 coin flips, right? Do the math. Mathematician over here. 4 coin flips. We need 2 to go heads at least, and if 2 go tails, it's a win, right? We got our 2 linebackers. So a little game I wanted to play. I feel like today was a good enough day as any, and we'll keep this going throughout the course of the season for all 17 games. One question we want answered from all 17 regular season games this season. One question we want answered, 17 regular season games. We'll go in actual chronological order, right? September 7th at Patriots. My question, has all the new offensive pieces gelled? Because new head coach, new offensive coordinator, new quarterback, new starting running back, 2 rookie wide receivers that will probably get some playing time, pretty decent amount of playing time, decent continuity on the O-line. But even when it's all really good players, sometimes it just doesn't gel or it takes time to gel, right? These guys have 3 preseason games, 1 training camp to get in sync. Can they do it by week 1?
That's a huge question right now. And I think that it's something that is more off than not to be, or more apt than not to be a positive. Knowing that who we have as offensive coordinator and his track record of being able to adjust his offense to his talent, I think it's going to be serviceable. It's not going to be the best. There's still going to be some time to kind of figure out what these guys can do the best on the field together once you figure out who your starters are going to be. But definitely it's not going to be a train wreck. It's not going to be a dumpster fire like we've had in the past in first games.
Week 2, September 15th, at home versus Chargers. All game versus Chargers are home games. Has Jim Harbaugh'd the Chargers? You know what Jim Harbaugh wants to do. And for everything the Chargers have been wrong, Harbaugh on paper is what is needed to make that right? Chargers, make fun of them all you want. They've been talented. They've always been pretty talented for the bulk of the last, several years. But they've bad coaching, soft, lack of discipline, poor in-game decision-making, things like that. Harbaugh was able to get them to the playoffs and take care of a lot of that in one season. Can that be exponentially bigger after 2 or into 2?
Yeah, it's definitely something that you need to take a look at when it comes to what's going on with the Chargers, especially early in the season. They don't seem to be a team that breaks down until the playoffs. So, hey, shut up.
Thank God you don't have a cockatoo.
God damn, dude. But for sure, he is going to have the team ready to play. And he's one of those guys where his teams don't play poorly. They just kind of fizzle out because he's very intense. And not all the teams can handle that. Not everyone can handle that. So we'll see if he's got his team all locked in and ready to rock.
September 21st, at Commanders. Can the O-line run through a bad unit? The O-line, I think, is, other than gelling, the O-line's the next biggest question mark on the offense. They were below average last season. Chip demands a lot of his O-line. Like that's kind of always been like the Achilles heel, is like he demands a lot of them. But the Commanders' defensive line is one of the worst in football. Front seven's terrible. If we can't run through that unit in week 3, we're way behind the 8 ball this season, offensive line wise.
Yeah, regardless of how much our defense has improved, Jaden Daniels is a problem. You got to be able to run the ball, especially on the road against a team that has a dynamic quarterback like Jaden Daniels. You have to be able to control the clock, and we got to be able to do it. We have to be able to push these guys around and create running lanes for our running backs, especially a game like this. The more dynamic the quarterback, the more you need to be able to control how often that quarterback has the ball. He can't turn the ball over. You got to be able to run the ball.
September 28th, at home versus the Bears. Are we sad we didn't get Ben Johnson? I think we're all pretty happy with the Pete Carroll signing. Ben Johnson was the number 1 for the Raiders organization, but he was also much more of a wild card. Pete Carroll, you know exactly what you're getting, right? You know his ceiling and you know his basement, right? Ben Johnson, super wild card. We've seen brilliant offensive minds completely flame out as head coaches. We've seen brilliant offensive minds take franchises to the stratosphere. By week 4, are we going to be like, darn, wish we got Ben?
Yeah, we're going to see, and you'll be able to tell right away. The Bears don't have to necessarily be winning games right away. It just has to look better. It has to look tightened up. It has to look a little bit more in sync. The offense needs to be a little bit more dynamic. If you can see that there's going to be improvements made without the Bears winning a ton of games early. You can see that there's still going to be some improvements to be made.
Into October now, on the 5th, at Colts. How will Daniel Jones look with Shane Steichen's help? Shane's now in Indy. Now that he's got another quarterback guru back in him, what does he look like? As we talk about all the time, the best quarterbacks in the world in bad situations will falter. The worst quarterbacks in the world in great situations couldn't look better. He's got Steichen now.
Got Steichen. He's got Jonathan Taylor. He's got some decent targets. When Daniel Jones had a good head coach has worked with quarterbacks in the past and gotten the best out of them, and he had a running back, he played really well. He played really well his first season with what's his name, Dable.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he got rid of Saquon Barkley, and everything just went to the dumps. Well, he has a quarterback whisperer type coach, and he has I wouldn't say Saquon-esque, but a much better than average running back, a very good running back in Jonathan Taylor. So how is he going to look? What is it going to look like?
October 12th, at home versus the Titans. Can we smash bad teams? They have the second longest odds to win the Super Bowl. Titans, they got Cam Ward. Maybe he'll work out. Maybe he won't. Who knows? Number 1 overall. Other than that, not a ton of talent. Bad franchise, rebuilding. The Raiders haven't been able to do this consistently. We'll beat a great team and then lose to a worse team. Raiders have not been able to consistently beat the bad teams. To be a 10-win team, playoff team, when you're handed a layup, you got to dunk it. Can the Raiders beat that team?
So I forgot the guy's name, but you know who you are. Someone was telling me I don't remember, I think it was Devontae Adams. Instead of trading for Devontae Adams, we should have drafted Treylon Burks, who actually ended up getting released by the Titans this last week. So take that. But yeah, that's one of the calling cards of the Raiders. They show up against teams that should beat them, and either they beat them or make it a close game. And against bum teams like this, I mean, even Cam Ward said that the team is mid. They're mid. Yeah. We're a mid team right now. So they're bad.
October 19th, divisional game at Kansas City. We've all seen the stats about Geno Smith and domes. What's Geno Smith got outdoors on the road against a great defense? This is the first real hard potential weather, tough defense road trip for Geno as a Raider.
With the weather, it's gonna be like
potential weather
in the city. Yeah, potential weather. It's gonna be another big running game. It's going to be a big game running the ball. We're going to take deep shots, but we got to be able to run the ball there. And definitely, can Geno cut down on the mistakes? And it's with the first game against the Chiefs, so the first time facing that type of defense. So we'll see, man. We'll see. It's going to be an interesting dynamic with Chip Kelly on one side and Sperano on the other.
Into November now, November 2nd, at home Jags. Can Trevor Lawrence get it together? He's got Liam Cohen now as his head coach. It's been really up and down for a guy that everyone looked at as like can't miss.
And for the amount of money he's being paid too, Jesus.
Like he played good enough. He played great in that Chargers playoff game. Was it 3 seasons ago? Whatever it was. But it's been rocky. Most of the rest of it. Is it just a coach thing? Is it just timing thing? Is it a weapons thing? Or is Trevor Lawrence just not the second coming of Christ, despite having Christ-like hair?
It's definitely something that needs to be answered quickly, because Liam Cohen did not. I mean, one of the reasons why he ended up going to Jacksonville is because of Trevor Lawrence, but you got to see what you have right away. And I always say production over talent. You're a talented player, that's great, but how do you play? What's your production like? And if Liam Cohen, Liam Cohen is an excellent offensive coach. Can he be a good head coach? We'll see. But offensively, he is an excellent head coach. Now, if he can't get Trevor Lawrence to put his beak on straight, I don't know who can, because he's not going to be for lack of trying and lack of coaching.
He's got a big beak. Can't get that on straight. Need a crane. November 6th, short week, Thursday night game at Broncos. Is Bo Nix for real? We got a whole season of tape on Bo now. No sneaking up on anybody, right? Is he one season better? Same system, same head coach, one more season of experience? Or did he just catch everybody with their pants down because they didn't know what to expect as a rookie?
This is the one guy that I'm looking at. I'm like, okay, this can be something where this guy explodes in his second year, or he can just be pretty average. Because Sean Payton is the offensive type of coach that he's very similar in respect to a Chip Kelly, where he'll see the strengths of what, man, I'm burping up the sushi I had for lunch.
Smell it from here.
Yeah, good stuff. He will figure out what you do well, and he'll tailor things around. And if you're able to like just operate a system the way Bo Nix, like he wasn't asked to do anything crazy, but he was solid. He was a steady Eddie, and he was solid. Can he graduate past that into being more of a playmaker than just being a solid guy in a system? And we'll see, because if you're just a solid guy in a system, you're much easier to game plan against.
November 17th, from a Thursday night game to a Monday night game, 11 days in between these two games. Can the youth, there's a ton of it, one of the youngest, will be one of the youngest teams in football, specifically even starters. Can all that youth handle the bright lights of primetime? Cowboys, big name franchise, most popular franchise in football, 11 days off. Are they going to get in trouble? Can they stay focused? And then having all the attention on them, can the youth shine under the big lights?
Yeah, because honestly, at that time, you're no longer a rookie, dude. It's a couple months into the season. You're going to be asked to do a lot more. You're going to be asked to not make mistakes anymore, especially if you're not a quarterback. If you're like a position player rookie, if you're in the middle of, headed towards Thanksgiving time, that excuse is no longer valid. Like, you got to know what you're doing. The team knows who you are and what you can do by that time. You should be starting to really build towards your peak at this time. And we got to make sure these young guys are out there doing, because we're going to have a lot of young guys that have a lot of big roles.
Moving on to November 23rd, week before Thanksgiving, versus the Browns at home. Is Shadeur Sanders relevant? I think the answer is going to be definitely relevant, even if he's like the third guy on the depth chart. He's still going to get all the stories, all the headlines, all the talk, everything happened with the draft, his dad, all the attention he's getting. He's still like top 5 highest selling jerseys after the draft, despite falling as far as he did. He's going to be a national story no matter what. What's his story going to be in that game against the Raiders?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what it is. It's definitely exactly that. It's going to be a story. It may not be the biggest story, but depending on how the teams are doing. But what's the story going to be with him? What direction is it going to go?
Moving on to November 30th, after Thanksgiving, right? The Sunday after Thanksgiving, at Chargers, home game for us. SoFi's our home. How physical are we? Simple question. The Chargers have a 6'7", 320-pound guard, let alone the rest of their giant offensive line. It's now towards the late part of the season when players start kind of wearing down a little bit, injuries start adding up a little bit. How physical are we? This is a Jim Harbaugh team that wants to be rough and tumble. Can we be rough and tumble with them? Was it 12 weeks into the season against a team that Harbaugh wants to be physical?
Yeah, you can't finesse a physical team. You have to just go out there and be physical with them. And this is going to be a good test late in the season where both teams are starting to go into their peak, right? Starting to get into that playoff push. Can we stand up to a team that is notoriously physical on both sides of the football up front? And it's going to be a big question to answer that day.
Now we're into December, snow starting to fall, thinking about Christmas, getting some shopping done. At home versus the Broncos. Can oft-injured veteran free agents Greenlaw, Hafunga stay healthy for the long haul? Again, getting late into the season. Broncos are going to be a beast. They're trouble, and they're only getting better. But to your point, I love this question. Guys that have had a long history of being good, there's only so much tread on those tires.
Yeah, man, these guys, I was looking at maybe getting Greenlaw in here on a good deal, but the Broncos paid him a little bit more, I think, than we were comfortable with paying him. But two guys coming off of injury-riddled seasons with an S, multiple seasons. If those guys can stay healthy, this defense is going to be freaking a nightmare. I'm talking about an absolute nightmare. I hate saying good things about the Broncos. Trust me. But if these two guys are healthy and anywhere near who they were with the Niners, this defense is going to be a major, major problem. But can it stay healthy?
It was damn good last season. And then
you had those two guys? Ooh.
December 14th, at Eagles. This is how close is this team to winning a Super Bowl? Because there's the barometer, right? Geno Smith in a bad weather game outside against the Super Bowl champions. Late in the season, the Eagles have depth for days. So as attrition is wearing down teams, the Eagles only get stronger because they have so much depth. They can outlast other teams. So this is a giant test, the biggest test under the worst circumstances. This is our shot at John Jones. Are we going to be Cyril Gahn and get tapped out in 30 seconds? Or are we going to be Thiago Santos and, arguably win a split decision? This is the gauge to see exactly how we stack up against the very best under the worst conditions.
And the thing is this is not, playing the Commanders in week 3. We don't know who the Commanders are going to be this year in week 3 yet. This is an Eagles in the playoff Super Bowl. They're thinking Super Bowl. So this is a primed up, tuned up Eagles ready to make another push for a title. So how we play against them and then the following week is going to be big. This is a big 3 out of 4 game stretch here with a huge trap game involved.
Next up, Christmas week, December 21st at Houston Texans. Can Chip Kelly scheme around a monster D-line? That's one of the best D-lines in football. Maybe
Anderson,
the best.
Daniil Hunter.
Maybe the best defensive end duo in football.
They're amazing. Those
brutal,
two
right?
Guys are brutal.
And Chip Kelly, I've said it twice already this show. Chip Kelly demands a lot of his O-line. Can he scheme around a D-line that's that elite? Because head-to-head, even if this O-line overperforms, it's not going to work. We got to outsmart this D-line.
You gotta have a good plan, and you had to be able to execute against these guys. You can't just go out there and be like, all right, let's just let our talent take over. They're just too talented up front on the defensive line.
We end this season on 2 home games. Right after Christmas, December 27th, at home, Giants. Is this a dumpster fire of a team that's already turned to Jaxson Dart? Did Jaxson Dart just play fantastic, and that's why he took over? Is it Jaxson Dart time yet in week 17 of 18?
It'll tell us a lot. I mean, is Brian Daboll still around? Who's still there? It's a team that made a very, very bad decision by paying Daniel Jones and not paying Saquon Barkley. Terrible decision to do that. And they're living with that decision now. And there's going to be some uncertainty moving forward. You pay your quarterback over a superstar player if that quarterback is a guy that wins games on his own. And Daniel Jones never showed that he can do that on his own. So that's why I say it was a mistake to do that. And we're going to see. We're going to see what's going on with, Russell and how he does out there. He's going to be the starter starting the season because, that's just who he is. He's going to be able to keep it. He's going to get funky. He's going to have those little weird games. If Russell goes out there and has kind of mid games, Jaxson Dart can go out there and have mid games and get experience. So why are you putting out this guy to have mid games? So it's not as simple as being able to just fend off a rookie, because you can get a rookie to go out there and play, average ball, and he'll get better. If your veteran is out there playing average ball, no. He's got to play really good football to keep his job throughout the entire season, especially if they're not in the playoff hunt.
Regular season finale, January 4th. At this point, Soto's already given up on his New Year's resolution. At home versus Chiefs. Can Pete Carroll outcoach the best? Andy Reid's the best coach in football. They've already played each other once. They have an entire season of tape. Carroll's already got, his feet under him as a coach. If we're going to beat the Chiefs consistently, it's going to be a matter of inches, not miles. We're going to have to do all the little things well. Pete Carroll, defensive mind, but good overall coach. Andy Reid, offensive mind, good overall coach. Can Pete Carroll pull a couple fast ones? Can Pete Carroll out-coach Andy Reid in the finale?
And I'm not talking about out-coaching as far as out-scheming. I think you're not going to be able to out-scheme the coaches they have there. They're just too good. Can you out-execute? Can you go out there and even when the defense knows what you're doing, can you just go out there and execute your plan? That's going to be as much on the players as it is on the coaches. The coaches are going to get the players ready to go, and they have to put them in the right position to succeed, but the players got to go out there and get it done. This is a huge telling sign about, do we have the right players and is our coaching staff up to snuff? Because if we go out there and we get railroaded in the last game of the season, that is not a good look, no matter what our record is going into that game. Because we have to be able to get up for these big games.
That's it. 17 games, 17 questions. I think we're going to go back and we're going to play each one of these the week of each one of those games and see if it's still up there, right? Like, November 6th is Bo Nix for real. We found he's been like sucking all season. You're like, remember when we thought in July that Bo Nix might be the shit and he's terrible, right? Or, like how close is his team to win the Super Bowl and we're 1-11? You know what I mean? Like, this is what we were thinking on July 30th, 2025, and what we think of each game. I'm very curious to see if they hold up or not.
It's a good thing we didn't ask the watchers to have their questions, because it's like week 15, is Audrey still gay? Like, oh damn.
Everyone knows I don't get gay until playoffs.
I wouldn't put it past any of you guys to make that one of the questions.
Ready for some What Up Windbags?
Yeah, man, let's do it.
All right. Red Dirt 8 Raider 28. Soto, Pete is not talking trash. He's calling his shot over the right fence. How many years has it been since we've had a Raiders coach with that big of balls?
I'm not clear on what. I mean, I guess it was when he was talking in his press conference about us wanting to win a bunch of games. I don't know that I said he was talking trash as far as like in a bad way. I think he was talking trash in the same sense that like calling your shot over the fence, that's pretty much trash talk. Like, I'm going to hit this ball over that's talking trash. I don't think that he was talking trash as far as demeaning anyone. I think he was just, being confident in what he feels his team can accomplish and in his abilities to get his team there. So I think there's a little bit of a misunderstanding.
He's raising the stakes, right? Because
standards are high.
If the Raiders suck this season, Chiefs fans, Charger fans, Broncos fans will be playing that. Oh, remember when you said we're going to win 10 games? Look at this idiot, right? If we're 9-2 at one point, we're going to be like, hey, remember when Pete Carroll said we're going to win a bunch of games? Motherfucker called it. That 932-year-old man, he raised the stakes and he took us there. Jeremiah Rose, 4681. Thank you so much for being a member. Should have brought in a vet cornerback. We have Chin at safety. As we found out, the safety we brought in is basically playing linebacker. So that kind of that answered our question.
It answers that.
Speaking of, Greg P. Round 7. As if Jamal Adams is one of the better of at least more than half of the defenders we've had in years as far as a low expectation veteran goes. And he may ball out! ! Pete is going to use his guys in spots they excel. He's not going to force too many players to do things that don't work for the team or the player's strengths. That's the most important part, in my opinion. Top of the fact, we revamped the staff. Chip Kelly is a real deal OC. We drafted pretty good. Let's see what happens. No need to set the bar too high. Thanks for the content, fellas. You're welcome. Lots to digest there.
Greg. Well, setting the bar is an interesting concept because a lot of it is going to be kind of based off of a perception. Mm-hmm. I think from Greg's perception, he doesn't want to set the bar too high because he hasn't seen a lot of these new players play together.
Yeah.
But but Pete Carroll understands what a team needs to look like, even in practice, for them to even have a chance to be good during the regular season. And he said in his last press conference, it looks right. It looks the way it's supposed to look. And he feels that the team is actually a little bit more ahead of schedule than he thought on the team leadership side. So those are both two big votes of confidence. If you're Pete Carroll, you don't change what your expectations are, regardless of who you're coaching. You expect to go out there and play well and win, and that's kind of what you need to do as far as being a leader of this team, because you don't need to have any lowered expectations at all, because you're going to get what you expect.
Thank you for joining us live, everyone who watched us live. If you're in the future watching this on YouTube or on the podcast, thank you for listening after the fact. We got a Hall of Fame game this weekend. One of our own is going in. I call Eric Allen one of our own. Eagles can kick rocks. And we'll have a lot to talk about the next week, with preseason getting going for the Raiders, joint practices with the Niners coming up, all this Christian Wilkins drama that's unfolding. And, oh, yeah, how's this new unit on offense coming together during practice? A lot to be excited about, a lot to look forward to. Only 39 days away, boys. 39. We're in the 30s. It's like basically a month.
So good.
Before Raider football. It's going to be magical. Until then, knock on wood if you're with me. Hey, you made it to the end of our video. Great job. I know you want more. Go ahead and click the next video. And if you're feeling crazy, go ahead and subscribe.